Hello YouTube, hi, my name is Mark and this is Nixon Motorsports. Hey, if you're new to this channel, we're all about motorsports, from racing to exotic cars and even simulators. So today's video, this is exotic car day. We're going to take the Ferrari, the 458, out for a little run, stretch its legs, and I thought I would bring you along. So with that, let's get into it. So here's the Ferrari. This is a 2013. Now this is a Spider, so it's a hardtop convertible, and red, as you can tell. Beautiful car, we love this thing. Pretty low mileage on this thing. Only take it out once in a while, stretch its legs a little bit, like I'm going to do today. This particular car, now if you're new, or if you haven't seen 458s, just for the few of you who might not be aware, let me just talk about the performance on these a little bit. They're not quite as fast as the Coupe. I think their top speed limit's about 200 miles an hour for the Spider. It's a 4.5 liter, normally aspirated motor, Ferrari power plant, of course, and it's about 570 horse, mated to a double clutch gearbox, so paddle shift, modern technology, transmissions, and 20-inch wheels, aluminum wheels on it. It's got a lot of the Alcantara on the interior and red stitching, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So very, very nice car, pleasant to drive. Its acceleration and performance is actually good. It's not some of the crazy numbers that you're going to hear, you know, in some of the newer cars. For an example, you know, we have a little 720 McLaren sitting over there that that thing can get on it pretty hard. But I think 0 to 60 for the Spider, the Ferrari Spider, is about 3 seconds. I think maybe 3.2 or so, 3.3 seconds. You know, that's still very, very quick. It's in the supercar category. But anyway, that's a quick little, what is this thing? Let me go ahead and fire this thing up, warm it up, get it out here, do a little walk around, and show you the car before take it out on the road for a little drive, okay? Come on. Okay, so I'm in the car. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up, get it warmed up. Pretty straightforward, these things. Key on, and then you hit the starter button. So let's move. I can change the screen here. So this view, if you can see those, that's temperatures. That's water and oil temp. Go one more. Now I can see where I'm pointing here. So there is oil pressure, and then you have battery voltage here. So everything looks fine. Just let it sit and warm up for a moment or two, and then back it out of here. So just sitting here letting this thing warm up. It's going to take it a minute or two. I'll take the top down here in a second so you can see what that's like. Instrumentation wise, you know, it's pretty basic. It does have everything you need. However, a lot of the controls are on the steering wheel, your start, stop, your different modes, that type of thing, windshield wipers, turn signals, and so on, right? Even your shock settings. From a climate control point of view, pretty simple, right? Again, it does what it needs to do. And then this gives you display options on your dash here. And here in the center console, you have, here you have the lift, the front lift, so you can actually raise or lower the car for bumps and that type of thing. Here are your windshields, your left and right windshield. And then you have the back window, and then you have the hardtop, the convertible piece here, emergency feature. This is for launch control, this PS. R is for reverse, and then auto. This is where you can toggle it back and forth from paddle shift, which is here, to fully automatic, right? Pretty straightforward. So Let me get out of the car here really quick. I'll do a walk around, and then I'll show you what it's like getting this hardtop down, okay? All right, so here's the car. Let me just do a quick walk around for you. I have some audio recording device on the back there so I can get the exhaust sound when I take this down the street. But the top's up at the moment, as you can tell, and just do a nice little walk around front to rear. And beautiful cars. They change their color quite a bit when it's in the shade or when it's in the direct sunlight. You know, looking at it here, it has, to me, it looks like a little bit of an orangey sort of tint to it. But oh, and here's the carbon rotors. Pretty trick. Nice little, I think they're 6 or 8 piston calipers, which is kind of neat. Again, this is a Spider, so hardtop convertible. There's the engine. That is the one negative. You know, the Spider, though the top comes down, which is awesome, you don't really see much of the motor, right? So on the coupes, this whole back section is like a plexiglass. You can actually see the motor. So I find that pretty cool for the coupes. But here's the rear of the car. Again, I have these microphones sitting there just to get a little bit of audio recording. Now, the way these work, you know, in the stock exhaust, right? You have this center piece and then these 2 outer. It has a control valve. So right now, all the exhaust is coming out of just this one tailpipe. Once you open the valve, and all it does, it takes just a little bit of throttle to do that. That closes, and then the exhaust comes out of the two pipes themselves, noticeably louder. So, you know, that's just one thing they've done. Eventually, I'm going to put a control module in this thing so I can turn that on or off myself. But anyway, let's get in and take the top down so you can see what that's like. All right, so pretty straightforward. You got a little button here. Let's go ahead and hit that. And you can watch from the inside view. You can see what it's like for this top coming down. Pretty trick. Pretty quick. The McLaren's top actually is way faster than this, but this works quite well. Right? That's it. So pretty cool. Let me get back out. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so now I'll walk around with the top down so you can see what it looks like. And it takes this whole piece, folds it underneath here, and obviously there's enough space underneath here to hold that, but that's what it looks like. That's the Ferrari 458 Spider with the top down. Just do a quick walk around for you. I like it better with the top down, but they did a good job with it with the top up as well. It looks quite nice too. Yeah, the lines on the Ferraris, they're pretty spectacular. Very good looking cars. Now this, if you didn't know, the 458s were the last year of their normally aspirated engines. Everything since, you know, the 488s and all the newer Ferraris are turbo. All right, it's warmed up. Let me get in this thing, take you down the road, okay? All right, take this thing down the road for a second. Man, the weather in Texas this time of year is awesome for a convertible, that's for sure. Yeah, it's funny, the other day, when we were at the Ferrari dealership, we were looking at some of the other Ferraris. You know, this is a 2013, right? So it's 10 years old, but the lines haven't changed that much. The 488s, you know, the newer versions of this, now the F8s, you know, very similar lines. Obviously, the technology has changed quite a bit, but I found that interesting. A lot of you have asked, oh, here's a guy that doesn't know what he's doing.
What the hell?
A lot of you have asked me over the last year or more, you know, with the supercars, the exotic cars like this Ferrari, right, the 458, you know, why don't you take it out on the track, you know, how fast does it go? And look, that would be fun. Let me answer it two ways. So I really don't have the need to do so because, you know, I have a purpose-built race car, right? So that's one reason. The other reason is I've taken these out on the racetrack. They just were not mine. So that's the only difference. So if that makes any sense to you. Yeah, so these things are just, these things for us are just, you know, go to coffee, go to dinner, just take it out for a drive, top down, that type of thing. Yeah, again, if you haven't been in northern Texas, this is just one of many suburbs around the Texas area. Lots of green, you know, a lot of these, you know, natural trees all over the place. Lots of green grass. It's pretty standard. So, you know, in the spring, summer time frame, everything's nice and green. It looks quite nice. You know, you gotta crawl when you have a car like this. You know, 200-mile-an-hour cars, right? You barely get them out of first gear, quite honestly. Yeah, that was only maybe 4,000 RPM at most. I mean, this thing rev limit, sorry, to 9,000, so the red line is quite high. At about 9,000 RPM, pretty much any engine, quite honestly, at 10,000 RPM is when the exhaust pitch and noise sounds just freaking awesome. But revving it up to about 9,000 out here on a little 30-mile-an-hour joyride is kind of tough to do, so sorry about that. That was just a little momentary blip. So like I mentioned, a short little video, you know, stretching the legs of the Ferrari out here in this beautiful weather, Texas this time of year. So I hope you found it of interest, found it fun. And I just want to thank you for subscribing. Many of you have. If you haven't, you know, consider doing so. I would appreciate that. But I do appreciate the comments and the support on the channel. So, you know, keep that coming in, okay? A lot of new stuff coming out. And we have a race coming up in just a few weeks. So I'll be bringing you along to experience that race with us as well. But as I always say, until next time, all right? Ciao.